All right, Dan. So we've been in Miami a couple days. What are your thoughts?
It's definitely different. Like very,
Different?
very, very, very different.
It's definitely very different.
So so I've been here. I know you've been to South Beach a few times. I've been in the Brickell, Wynwood area, um, but we're in Wynwood, and the reason I picked this is because I was like I don't really want to be Brickell downtown, high rise, Lamborghinis. Like I don't want to see necessarily that side of Miami. I'd rather be like, oh, like out in like the art district where apparently all the young kids are like hanging out and going out and things like that. And we just went on Airbnb, grabbed a place in Wynwood, but we didn't realize that 2, 3 blocks north of the art district of Wynwood is straight up the hood. So we're kind of chilling as like two northeastern suburb boys in the hood of Miami right now, which is fascinating.
Yeah. We're staying in Wynwood, which I've never been to before. I've been to South Beach a bunch. I've always been to Miami for vacation purposes, so I know what to expect from that side of things. But Wynwood's a name that you've mentioned before. Others have mentioned. So when we were looking for Airbnbs, I was like, sure, Wynwood, why not? The place we're staying at is actually pretty nice. It's everything we could want. It's a nice two
It's,
bedroom.
it's a nice new studio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's change of scenery. When you look outside, it looks uh, very
We were woken
Espanol.
we were woken up by a rooster these last 2 days.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So one thing that's interesting about at least Wynwood in Miami is there are wild chickens and roosters,
just hanging
and
out.
they literally cockadoo in the morning at like 7 a.m.
Dude, it's crazy. I can't. I'm afraid to take the dog for a walk. 'Cause I'm afraid she's just gonna go for the throat.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
when you have a pit, and honestly, I've got the pit bull, which helps me blend in around here. But but outside of that, and she's over there chewing on her bone right now. She's having a good time. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out where to go hang out with people who are a little bit more kind of like our age, our speed. Because we were in Brickell yesterday, and we basically just went there to watch games. So I had my buddy that we went to go watch the first slate at, and then we went to a bar, and it feels like every bar is just like very loud. It's very it feels like it feels Brickell feels like the place where everybody goes to hang out. Um, but it's a very like interesting like small downtown area. It's super walkable, but I think I said to you yesterday, it almost feels like the seaport of Boston meets a random street corner in New York City. It's like, oh, there's the CVS in the corner, and
Hmm.
there's a bunch of different condos that are weirdly zoned and don't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a lot of condos, and it's a downtown area where you're surrounded by tall buildings. But yeah, there's a couple bars like the one we went to watch football games at. They were blasting EDM, and it was like three, and I'm just like,
Yeah, they had a
I'm not
DJ.
trying to listen to club music and full blast at 3
They
p.m.
literally had a DJ.
They did, yeah. It was I was there to watch football and have some beers. I wasn't there to party in whatever everyone else was trying to
Not
do.
yet. We'll be degenerates in the upcoming weekend. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to see South Beach for the first time tonight because we're going to go grab dinner. But but yeah, I mean, I already went on a date. First night we were here, I grabbed a date, and we'll talk about hinge escapades in a different video. But the I will say that like the vibe the vibe at night down there was kind of cool. Like you've got like boats going through the harbor. You've
Hmm.
got I went over to Brickell Key, which is very nice, and grabbed like a couple drinks with a girl in just this lounge where you could like see the water and all the buildings were lit up. It's cool. Um, it's just life from this point. Like now we're into the week. I'm working. We're obviously making our videos. I'm going to be taking the dog for walks. I'm going to be going to the gym. Um, and we're going to be like cooking, shopping, doing the stuff that typical Miamians would do. Um, and I still don't really have a good sense of what that looks like, given the vast difference between where we are right now living in our own little ecosystem versus the place that we visited yesterday to go do the things we wanted to do for the weekend. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, walked around Wynwood a little bit, saw what that was about. We explored a little bit of Brickell. So yeah, I mean, South Beach is tonight. Next weekend will be more South Beach, but are there any other areas we need to check out while we're here?
I don't know.
What about like Boca, Del Rey?
Yeah, yeah, those are so those are north.
Yeah.
And I've definitely wanted to go kind of see, what does the shoreline of Florida in the, I guess you'd call it the greater Miami area kind of look
Hmm.
like. So we might take a little bit of a trip this weekend just to kind of go explore and see what it's all about. Because again, when I was because I drove down here, so I kind of scooted through
Hmm.
on some of the highway routes, and it's sort of that standard Florida look and feel where it's like those like almost cubic rancher looking homes with like the like kind of like the cute like Instagram friendly roofs and colors and things like that. So so yeah, I feel like it's probably going to be a little bit more of your traditional beach town, whereas Miami is it's definitely the glitz and glam
Oh
to a
yeah.
certain extent. I mean, we were walking past a couple hotels that had some rooftop bars, and you see the Lambos, the BMWs, the Porsches that are all just parallel parked on the street, not like chilling in a garage. Um, and I would say the other thing that's been very interesting is I think we've had plenty of people who speak English, but it is definitely like a hard 50-50 Spanish to English in terms of the expectations of the language. I mean, we were ordering a sandwich yesterday. The woman behind the counter, it was like almost no English, and then the person that worked with her was English and Spanish. We've had some Uber drivers that are Spanish speakers. We've had some people in bars and waiters and waitresses who have accents but speak English. We've had just regular Americans speaking English. So it's, or I should say, Native Americans, so to speak, born here Americans. Um, but yeah, definitely a little bit of a culture shock first couple of days. Feeling like I'm not visiting, feeling like I'm here to stay for a little while. Um, so yeah, I mean, we'll keep the updates. We'll keep the updates coming for sure. It's just it's definitely been a little bit of an interesting couple of days to start.
Yeah, yeah, and I think we've seen a lot of Miami for people who what Miami's been for a while. But yeah, I want to check out Boca. I want to check out Del Rey, maybe even Fort Lauderdale. See
Hmm.
where the people from the north who are flocking south, the areas that they're staying at, because Wynwood ain't it.
Wynwood definitely. Yeah, I don't need to be playing mahjong with my neighbors
Yeah,
when I get too drunk on tequila. Like
dominoes, mahjong. We got to find out where the cockfighting is. It's definitely here
it
somewhere.
probably is.
This is all fun and games, but yeah, if we were to live here permanently, not things we want to see every day.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting point because if we, like, say you and me were like, yeah, we're living in Miami, we're doing it, and at the end of these 2 weeks, we are picking our place to stay and we're going there.
Yeah,
There's almost no question that we're probably going to be looking in the north towns that you were just talking about, or we'd have to live in Brickell,
yeah.
and Brickell is
I don't think I'd want to live in Brickell because it's a downtown area where it's like
that's my point.
I've
Yeah,
lived in downtown areas for over 10 years. Like if you're in Miami, you don't want that.
yeah. So that's a little bit of a fear because even the part of Wynwood where I had gone out there and enjoyed my time and met people last time, even that area, it's like the bars are just sort of like it's almost like they're just built into like weird spaces in
Hmm.
the blocks, and outside of the bars, it's still just like it's like weird, sketchy alleyways. It's like a lot of almost like abandoned lots. And it's almost as if that abandoned lot is just waiting for the restaurant next door to take it over and be like, new dance floor for when we're open at 3 a.m. on a
Yeah,
Sunday and you don't
new
want to work
salsa
tomorrow.
dancing EDM bar.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll definitely explore a little bit further north. But yeah, definitely don't think that living in Brickell is what I want to do. So we'll continue to kind of catch the vibes, meet some new people. Like I said, the girl that I went on a date with was great. We met a couple dudes at the bar yesterday who were actually from Philly watching. Um, we were hanging out with my buddies and everybody who lives down here, even the people who live in Brickell, they seem to love it. It's
Hmm.
just that I mean, it's not yours and my speed per se. So I think it's going to be you know, we'll see how it grows on us over the next
Yeah,
2 weeks. But for now, I think we're just looking to lay low in our two bedroom and and think about what life could be a little bit north of the city, and then what it could be like enjoying the nightlife and the glitz and glam of Miami when it presents itself.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. It'll be an interesting 2 weeks, but here we are.
Yep. So we'll keep the updates coming.